So, Tosh, did you hear what happened?
Yeah, girl. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, I think ghosts actually like.
No. I was talking about Marianne Williamson.
Marianne, what happened to Marianne?
She dropped out of the presidential race.
What?
Oh man, not Marianne. Damn. She actually was gonna try to work and get reparations for black people. Because she was talking about how the greatest sin or the original sin of America is slavery. Yeah, I was all on board with that chick, man.
Hey, all right. You already know whose turn it is to go first this week, hunty. Okay, so I already spoke about it in the intro. I'm super bummed out at the fact that Marianne Williamson is no longer running. She just didn't, have the support. That's unfortunate because she was the only person that was actually talking about reparations for black people, which is necessary and needed. And we just can't just talk about reparations only for, just starting at 16, 19, and people were being trafficked for slavery and all types of, monstrous things done to them starting in 1492. Even Columbus said, they would be great slaves. And he was talking about the copper colored indigenous people, of the islands that were a part of the Americas. So the simple fact is, let's just get it all out. Let's get it all, to the forefront. Pay the people what they're asking for. If a black person don't want money, they want land, give them the land. If a black person don't want money, they want education, give them the education. Let's stop going back. How we gonna pay for this? How we gonna pay for that? If the person demand money, then pay them the money. The fact of the matter is, you're wrong in enslaving people. You were wrong to keep them enslaved. You were wrong to build the black codes and all of these laws that you have in place, even the Negro Act of 1740, where you literally told black people they could not earn money. So you, as the United States government, you owe some money, and you owe it to black people. And what I mean black people are melanated people that were enslaved through the chattel slavery system, and the back and forth of, shipping people off to the islands, and then some people being shipped from Africa to North America. But most, again, the statistics and the numbers already show that 95% of all people of African descent that were enslaved went to South America. So we already know the facts for the most part. Let's just pay it. Just whatever the people are asking for to right that wrong, just do it. And then we can all move on with our lives. All right, I'm done with that. The Trump administration and its officials are struggling, hunty, to come up with a viable reason or explanation or justification for the bombing of Soleimani. At this point, Donald Trump has actually tweeted, oh, it doesn't matter. He was a bad guy. It really doesn't matter if there was an imminent threat or not. No, it does fucking matter if there was an imminent threat or not, because if you did this act of war, because that's what you did, it was an act of war. If you did that and did not have Congress approval, guess what? You broke the law. That is illegal. And it should be added to your impeachment proceedings. But again, like I said, I don't know if that's going to happen. But the fact of the matter is, the reason why your advisors were telling you to tell everybody it was an imminent threat is so they wouldn't have any cause to say you did something illegal. Well, now you did. Even Republicans like Mike Lee from Utah and Rand Paul from Kentucky have stated that with the presentation that was given to them after the fact is bogus. And they're like, it's almost like they're like, you're insulting our intelligence. Like, really? Like, seriously, you can't give us better than this? You can't do more than that? Come on, man. All right. And on top of all that, check this out. So the Wall Street Journal reported that Trump stated that he felt pressure in order to do the strike against Soleimani to gain the favor of hawkish GOP lawmakers, senators, so that they would basically not call for his removal, that they would vote against the impeachment, that they would basically, just try to get rid of the trial altogether. So he literally did a strike against another nation. Just like what I said last time, it could have been the impeachment. Well, guess what? We're finding out some of this does have to do with the impeachment proceedings. That he literally did this so that he wouldn't be he's already been impeached. That has already happened. The House has impeached him. What he's fighting now is removal. So the fact of the matter is, the dude did something to stop something that's already happened to him. Dude, you're impeached already. Get over it. What you're fighting now is removal. And they should remove your behind because you're a criminal. All the stuff that you've done. Moments of white privilege. Moments of white privilege. That's what it is. Because he thinks that because he walks around with, pale skin, he shouldn't be held accountable for his actions. And the fact of the matter is, that's what he truly thinks. He really does, because if you look at his actions, yes, he did something bad, but he's thinking, I did something bad, but it's okay. Well, why would you think it's okay, though? Why would you think it's okay? Because you were taught that because you were born white in this world, that you wouldn't be held accountable. Moments of white privilege. That's what that is. Okay. So, quote, it said, Mr. Trump, after the strike, told associates that he was under pressure to deal with General Soleimani from GOP senators he viewed as important persons in his trial, senators, associates say. So that was reported by the Wall Street Journal. So, the fact that he did it because of the impeachment. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. Yeah. Oh, last one. And this is not dumpy related. So, Bernie, it seems like on social media, has a new nickname to combat the crazy Bernie thing that Donald Trump. Look, Donald Trump, you would have been better off not even mentioning Bernie Sanders, because now even though your followers, supporters, or all that stuff want to sit up there and say that they're going to support you to the end in the end, but when you mention him, now they're going to get interested. Just a part of their mind is going to get curious. And if they hear that, excuse me, one second. All right. And if they hear that Bernie is trying to give them like actual better health care, what you said that you promised them, I'm going to, get rid of the ACA, the Obamacare, and give you something better. Well, Medicare for all in that plan, yes, you would technically lose your private insurance, but the fact of the matter is you actually get insurance, better insurance. The insurance that senators have would be given to all Americans. Yeah, they got the premium package. And all Bernie is saying is, I want to give the same. This was the same thing Obama said when he was, before, the ACA was even passed and they had to do all these revisions and all this stuff. The fact of the matter is, Bernie is like, no, I'm going to make it so that all the Americans get what the senators get. Y'all got the best health care in the United States of America, and y'all are public servants. At least that's what y'all supposed to be. He's trying to expand that so everybody get that premium package. But anyway, so here's the nickname. It's called Bernie the Beast. And I actually like that nickname for him because he do be going off on people. He ain't scared of you, Donald Trump. That's what it is. And you about to see that, hunty. Bernie is surging in the polls. Key states like Iowa and all that stuff, because their caucus is coming up. So that's real big news and all that. All right. I'm done, babies. I'm going to turn it over to Girly. And I'll see you later. Bye. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Nice But Feisty. I am Mandi Nice, and I'm getting right into my topics here. We will have our special guest, Margaret, our cousin Max, from the UK, reporting on the UK news. I always have to kind of, tug on her and be like, come on, Max, please, pretty please. And then, she breaks down, all right, fine, I'll do it. I just love her accent. Anywho, I'm going to get into it. As we briefly went over in the intro, Marianne Williamson has suspended her campaign for the 2020 election along with Cory Booker. Cory Booker is no longer running in the presidential race for candidacy for the office of President of the United States of America. It shows that Bernie Sanders is now starting to rise in the polls over Joe Biden and also Elizabeth Warren. And recently there has been some rumors out there, and it's not confirmed because they don't really have anyone that will step forward and say, I literally saw him or heard him say this. They use the general term of staffers or something like that, and they'll say that, oh, he stated that women can't win. And I think they may, I'm not excusing him if he did say such a thing, but knowing him and how he advocates for women, how he has advocated for civil rights for people of color, i.e. African Americans and things of that nature, he actually, was arrested for protesting for civil rights for Black people. So for someone to say, oh, he said that a woman can't win, I think maybe they either heard part of that conversation or, like I said, I'm not, basically giving him a blank slate to say that. If someone actually has evidence or video, which of course we can find videos of people saying all types of naughty things, like Donald Trump did, he grabs them by the pee and all of that stuff. But we can find that, actual evidence. But when somebody just says, oh, he said, she said, and there's not even now, video evidence, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, just knowing Bernie Sanders' track record. I will say it is very hard for a woman to have a presidential run and to win. That is an actual fact because we have seen it with the with the Hillary Clinton campaign. She ran and it was considerably hard for her to win, even though she won the actual popular vote. She actually won the majority of Americans. Where she failed to win was the electoral college vote. And again, stating the fact that it is hard for a woman, whether it's, a white woman or a woman of color, to win the presidency. So if they're taking his words out of context, just like I just said, that it's just very hard and that a woman has not, as in our history, won a presidential election, that is stating a fact. That's not saying that they can't win. That's just saying that it's very hard for a woman to win. And up until now, there has not been a woman president in the United as a U.S. sitting president. There has not been a woman. So I think it's very hard for a woman. I just won't say that she can't. So I take it with a grain of salt, until they hopefully won't doctor any videos and put that out about him. I'm not going to believe that because that just doesn't seem to be his character. So there's that. So moving on. The Philippines are having to deal with a volcanic eruption. And even the volcano itself is actually causing even more tumultuous weather, and people having to deal with the volcanic ash along with the lava, along with, there may be some tidal waves, that are produced along with these seismic activities that are happening in the Philippines. So I'm not only going to wish them well, because I actually had family members in the Philippines, and they, years ago, 20 some odd years ago, they had to actually leave the island because of a volcanic eruption. And so, volcanic activity is not new to the Philippines. And I'm pretty sure that the local indigenous population knows how to deal with this, but they do need some help. And so when they ask for the help, then we should, actually extend that help. But we are definitely keeping them in our prayers. And if I do find any websites or any charities that will be extending assistance to the island of the Philippines and the surrounding islands as well, I will definitely post those links in the description box. Lastly, so the House did pass a bill to limit the war powers of the executive branch. It's the War Powers Act. Actually, the vote was 224 to 194 to limit the executive office from engaging in activities related to war. That includes acts of war such as bombing a high-ranking official of a sovereign nation. This resolution is to make sure that the whoever is sitting in the executive branch actually goes to Congress to get the authorization in order to go into war, because that's what the U.S. Constitution actually says. The U.S. Constitution actually states that only Congress has the authority and to engage in war. So they're the only ones that can call for war, and they're the only ones that can actually allocate resources in order to have war to commence. And it's actually in the Constitution. So anyone that says, and it seems it comes more from, the right-wing party, the Republicans, saying, oh, well, if he wants to declare war, then he can declare war. That's not what the U.S. Constitution says. It says that Congress is the only body that can declare war, and it is the only body that can allocate resources. That means money, people, all of that, in order to engage in acts of war. So if you're going to be in the executive branch, you please take the time to actually read the Constitution, because you're supposed to be defending the Constitution and you are beholden to the Constitution, and that is not what's happening with Mr. 45. All right, I'm gonna just turn this over to Margaret. Hello, Margie. Well, hello there again. I don't know how I let Mandi talk me into this again. Hello, puppets. So I'm supposed to be talking about, let's see, she sent me over some notes here. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, of course, have, decided that they don't want to be in the UK anymore and be totally secluded. And plus, there's some racist people out here too that sat up there and called her, they said, oh, that American woman, she needs to get out of here and take her nigger baby with her. So, could be in response to that, but we don't really know. I mean, it seems, Mandi sent over, specifically telling me to say it just like this. Mandi, I'm not going to say it exactly the way you want to, because I've already agreed to do it, because you please, 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 and all of these things. But anyway, so they will become part-time, financially independent royals, and they will split their time between North America, basically Canada, not really, the US, unless she's going to Los Angeles to do work, of course, and Britain. And basically it was, this comes on the heels of, like I said, some racist bit, it is what it is. I think, anywhere you go in the world, if you have contact with people who don't like other people just because of the way they look, that's, you're going to have that. Everywhere that, the British and the, any person you can think of that has pale skin from Europe all had this ideology that they were better than everyone else. And, frankly, it's not true. But that's what they think. Not all, of course. I'm not saying all. But, some. At any rate, that's what it is. That's what's going on over here as far as the royals. Not even going to talk about the fact that, Parliament is just a complete mess right now. But anyway, that's news for another time. We'll see what happens with Brexit, especially, with Boris actually winning his election. Needless to say. Again, it is what it is. So, kiddos, bugger off, all those things. Bye, Mandi. Love you, Tasha. Love you too, Mandi, of course. All right. Bye. Get out. Go away. I'm done. All right, you guys. Thanks, Margaret, again for coming in and doing that bit of UK news. So much for tuning into another episode of Nice But Feisty with Mandi Nice and Tasha Feisty. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Have a good one.